Welcome again to the Betaflight playlist, and here we have CLI, and we're going to be working with the CLI right now. So CLI basically isolates your drone from every other setting that you can tamper with, and now you are only in a mode where you can type in stuff in the command line interface. Now, bear in mind that it's very easy, just learn the syntax, and always bear in mind that when working with CLI is usually always starts on 0, as this is computer slash binary. So let me turn off this transmitter. So the first thing I'm going to go through the CLI is the help command, and not everyone can remember every single command in the CLI, and trying to see if I can actually put it full screen. I cannot put it full screen. That sucks. Can I not? Okay, it is what it is. There's no full screen. So the help command will provide me with all the possible commands that I can actually use. Everywhere you see an asterisk, everywhere you see a hashtag, that's a comment. Generally, that's a comment. So you can adjust ranges right here, and those are the parameters here. Your index and use ranges. But like I said, not everything you will actually know. But what I will be going through are the common and the most needed ones right here. So here you can have bind underscore rx to enable binding mode for your rx. So in case you have so serial rx L2 or crossfire or rx SPI. I don't know if that's serial rx, but I said serial rx. I don't know everything in that, but I know that my protocol is crossfire, and I can bind using the CLI by typing the bind underscore rx. Now, if you switch in firmwares and you have difficulty entering into DFU mode, you can simply type in the DFU command and it will have you enter into DFU mode. Just connect your drone that don't want to connect. If all drivers install, and just simply type in DFU, you put that drone into DFU mode. Here you have BL for bootloader mode, and generally that's it. So you have board name. If you want to get the board name, it will return the board name. You have color right here, so if you want to change the color, and there's so many different things you can do. So, let's get to the main ones. So we'll be using the dump command if I want to dump all my configurations. Basically, I'll be making a preset. So if I want to make a preset of everything that I've saved on my command on my drone right now, I can type in dump. It'll dump everything. Like, it might take a little while. When I type in dump, it copies every single thing that is stored on my eMMC or the ROM of my flight controller. And what I have to do is simply scroll up until I get to where I type in the dump command, which is here. And I'm going to copy this here. So this is my dump command here. I'm going to copy this here. Ignore all the other hashtags below it, because this is the first thing that does not have hashtags after the dump command. I'm going to hold shift, then I'm going to click at the end of this here, then press copy. So I'm going to end batch. Now, like I said, the hashtag means comment. So my last command was end batch, and then what I'm going to do, I can simply open Notepad, paste it here, save it, on my desktop or anywhere as drone backup. Now I'm not going to save it. I don't want extra files on my computer. But with drone backup now, when I open this file, I can open it, copy everything. I'm using ALT-A, Ctrl-A for all and Ctrl-C for copy. Then I'm going to go to my CLI, which is now fresh and empty on my drone. I'm going to type in, I'm going to press Ctrl and press V right there for paste, or I can right click and then click paste. Then I'm going to press enter. There will now write everything that I backed up using dump onto that drone right there. And then what I then going to do after it's done, I'm going to type in save, and it's going to now write it onto the drone and make sure it has stored those configurations or store basically that backup that I made using the dump command. Now CLI is kind of a long topic. I'll not be going through everything, but I do have another video for CLI, and it goes into more of like dump all and these kind of things. Like, yeah, there are so many different things that it's not too advanced, but this one actually has a little bit more CLI commands than the last one. Now we're just waiting for this to finish. I really don't want to make this video long because I have one more thing to take care of, which is servos, and here it is. So I'm going to type in help, and I did not type in save because it's basically a video I'm making. Everything that I just dumped a while ago and copied and pasted back into the CLI was generally what I have on my drone currently. So no need to restore something that literally have been unchanged. So here you have the get, and you can do something like, before you do so, let's go. So we just did dump. We have exit. When we type in exit, we will exit the CLI. We have feature. So feature will show all the features available on that drone right here. So what's available right now? We have RX serial, which is serial RX enabled. We have telemetry. We have LED strip. We have OSD, air mode, and anti-gravity. So that's generally, anti-gravity is generally hovering and so on. But we don't know if that works. We haven't tried it out yet. We will try it out. What's available? We have in-flight ECC calculator, accelerometer calibration. We have motor stop. We have servo tilt, and currently it says servo tilt is not enabled. So if I go to configurations, I scroll. If I go to configurations and I scroll down, you can see servo tilt is off. So I'm going to turn it on because I know I will need it quite soon in this video, where I'll be showing you how to install how I installed my servo motor. I'm going to type in resource again. I'm going to type in feature, my bad. I'm going to type in feature, and then you can see right here there's those things that are unavailable, which is what's available. The features are available on Betaflight but are not in my current firmware, and those things that are in my current firmware that I do not use, and those that are enabled in my current firmware. So you can type in task to check out. I'll have a quick view, TSKS, a quick view of the different tasks that your processor is running right now. And clearly you can see like different loads and the average load on a whole to see. Right here, PIG takes 14%. And yeah, that's generally what you actually have to search for. So if you find that your drone is not really doing very well, you can actually see if those things actually have responses. So especially for gyro and so on, you can see gyro actually works and so on. So you can see that it actually have some responses here. If you can see gyro working, you may not see gyro here sometimes. That means it's not detected, and gyro undetected is also a very big issue with FPV drones. Now there's a next command you can actually use. So we have gone through VTX in the last video. Now VTX basically show the different VTX states, different VTX power levels using a switch. So we have VTX info. If you don't know your VTX, and for some reason it says it's undefined, so that's okay. If you want to see your VTX table, simply go to VTX transmitter right here and scroll down, but you can also see it there, and this is your VTX table and the VTX power states. There's also the status, which tells you the status of every resource on your drone. So you can see CPU here, you can see your different sensors right here. So you have accelerometer, gyro and baro. It will tell you what the name of those chips that you actually use, and it tell you your OSD size and SD card if it's not inserted or not, and that's important for your black box. Until you configure right here your stack number and different things. So there's also, I'm going simply by scrolling, and we'll simply go through profiles. So you can have different profiles, so you can also dump profiles. So right now I'm using profile 1, and I can also dump profiles if I want to just dump profile 1. So there's the get command and the set command. So if I want to get the get, I just type in get, and it will take a little while to load. So it will show me every single thing I can get the value of using the get command. Okay, so this is the get command, and here you can see there's a whole list of different things I can use right here. So if I want to get anything right here, I can just type in get, and I'll type in gyro 1 spy bus, and then it will return 4, and then it will give me the allowed ranges. So just by typing get, and I didn't type a specific thing, therefore it will display everything I can actually get. So let's say I want to get VTX, and then you will see right here it will give me different options. So I'm gonna get the VTX power. Right now it tells me my VTX power right now is power 3, which is 3000 watts, and obviously that was the last settings I used in my last video. So the allowed range is 0 to 7, which is wrong. My allowed range for my specific VTX is 0 to 4, which is basically 4 different power states, and it doesn't have a default, but I can also add a default right here. So if I want to change this right here, I can have set VTX underscore power, and I can set my VTX power to something between 1 to 5. So generally how it actually works is basically 1 to 5, and we don't have a number 0, but we have a number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Like I said, to VTX power 2, sorry, set VTX power equals to right here. So then I can type in save, but before I do so, and I don't do save anything right now, I can type in my last command or press the up arrow a few times until I get what I want. So I can get my VTX power here. And you can see my VTX power right now is power 2. The allowed range is 0 to 7 and default value. So this is how you use get and this is how you use set. So you type in get, you type in what you want to get, or just type get and it returns everything, and then you type in set and then you type in that parameter if it is VTX power or let's say VTX rate, whatever, and then you put your equal sign and you put the value that's allowed, and that's it for CLI. So just go through the rest, you can get it very quite easily. And after you're done with everything, you type in save, then press enter. So I will not save anything because I don't want anything to be saved. But I did type exit, and this is my last command for the CLI. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll be doing the last thing, servers, and I can finally be done with that. So thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and if you find this useful, you know what to do.